Each morning, Roger Soucy of Croton-on-Hudson, New York, puts these two insole-shaped magnets, which cost about $100, into his shoes and begins his day.
Good morning. Good morning, hon. How are you?
Yeah.
How's the coffee, hot?
Roger is one of nearly 16 million people in the United States with diabetes.
What do you think we're going to have for breakfast?
Well, I don't know.
Coffee first?
Yeah, have coffee first. We'll think about it. So I see you've been walking much better, huh?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
Robert's a man that had very severe diabetes, and he had bad pain, which we call neuropathic pain. It was interfering with his sleep and lifestyle.
Dr. Michael Weintraub is a clinical professor of neurology at New York Medical College. He treated Roger for 4 months.
He lost the ability to sweat in his feet. He has the form that is what we call anesthetic or stage 4 diabetic peripheral neuropathy. And that means that he doesn't feel when I touch him with a pin or when I put a temperature control on him. He doesn't know any of those senses. He can't appreciate that. That's pretty bad.
Oh, quite painful. Every time I put the foot down, I would get a pain in the arch going right through to the top of the foot, which caused me to limp, to favor it.
Can you feel that?
After trying various conventional treatments for the pain, Roger then went to Weintraub.
Are you able to appreciate if this is warm or cold?
That's cold. He said he's got some experimental thing he wants to try, and that's the magnetic soles in the shoe.
Magnets are being used to treat everything from pain and stress to offsetting the effects of depression.
It's $5 billion worldwide. In the United States and Canada, last year, almost $500 million was spent on magnetic devices without any scientific validation.
Scientific validation is just what Weintraub is trying to do.
Now, this sweating has only occurred since I've given you the magnet,
right.
And you've not had that for 3 years, is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. Basically, as a physician who deals with pain, I am seeing people who are very desperate. And many times I've had people come into my office wearing magnets, and I say, what are you doing? What is that? He said, oh, these are the only thing that helps me. And you start to say, okay. So I want you to continue wearing them in your feet, in the shoes.
I wore magnetic soles in the shoe for a month and a half, and I felt all this pain disappearing. I used to walk with a limp to favor the pain, but I don't walk with a limp anymore, and it's working out pretty good.
The theory is our bodies are magnetically sensitive, and we are in fact a magnet. And if we put a magnet on our cells or on any type of cell, the basic premise would be the MRI. We put you into a magnetic device, and we're able to move water molecules back and forth, and with different frequencies we can see the interior of your brain without hurting you. When we stimulate you with magnetic fields, like with pulsed electromagnetic fields, we can heal bone. We can change the way people feel. Now, the theory is that these magnets will interfere with abnormal function of certain cells that are producing pain. When a person experiences numbness, tingling, and burning, it means that the nerve is constantly depolarizing or firing. So what I believe the magnet is doing is resetting the nerve. It is repolarizing the nerve and trying to get it back to normal. I'm going to stimulate another nerve. That's not working. Let me try stimulating the upper nerve here. His progress has been spectacular. Not only is it spectacular because after 6 weeks of wearing these magnets constantly, he feels that he has less pain, less discomfort, he's sleeping better. But now, for the first time in 3 years, his foot is sweating. You're wearing the magnets all the time?
Every day.
All right, take the other shoe.
The significance of the sweating is that many diabetics lose the ability to sweat in their limbs. This loss can lead to infections and traumas, which can lead to amputation. According to the Centers for Disease Control, more than half of all lower limb amputations occur among diabetics.
Gradually, this pain started to leave me when I started wearing this. And but it's just fine. And I'm happy with them, so.
Now I'm going to decrease because we're trying to find
In an effort to get to the bottom of this magnet mystery, Weintraub devised a year-long study in 1995.
I started with a study of 14 patients, again, very skeptical, because I didn't believe this. I thought it was BS. And I did electrical tests before and at the end of 4 months, and I also did a neurological exam before and every month, just to see if there was any change, because I wanted to know if and when it did change, if there was anything associated. And they would keep scores every day, more than once a day, and I would monitor this and then every month give them a new sheet, etc. And what I found was very striking. I found 75% of the diabetics and 50% of the non-diabetics got better.
I would wake up with the most unbelievable pains in my feet. I used to put water on them and go take baths, ride a bicycle. But, you know, it was terrible. And then now I'm fine, sleeping. It's unbelievable. To me, it's unbelievable.
So I want you to continue to wear them constantly because the effect will wear off if you don't utilize it.
Dr. Weintraub is pleased with the initial results, but in an effort to get more data on the benefits of magnet therapy, he has solicited some help.
I have all 7 podiatry medical schools in the United States and the 5 largest foot and ankle centers. And now I'm expanding this so that I can get into just about every state and to get large numbers, because I would like to complete the study of 300 patients within 1 year. This is the only way we in medicine will accept whether this is real or bogus.
Norma and Louis Neal of Lancaster, South Carolina, often take long walks in the park. To look at them, you'd think life was grand. However, sometimes it's anything but. You see, Norma has had severe depression since she was a child.
I'd go up under the house and hide all day. And I would climb the tallest tree, and I would stay up in the top of that tree all day long with the intentions of jumping down, and never could quite get up the courage to do that.
As the years rolled by, Norma married, had children, and her children had children, but her suicidal tendencies never left her.
Anything that didn't go right was, I'm going to kill myself. It was like I lived, I've said this so often to my psychiatrist, I live in that, with that pit right there, and it's always ready to open and swallow me, always.
It eventually swallowed her. She attempted her first suicide in 1993 and tried again in 1999.
I just said, this is today. I just can't take any more. I can't take any more. I just wanted, my purpose that day was to get back home and take that bottle of pills and die.
Well, I was about 20 miles away, and it was usually about a 30-minute drive, and somehow I made it there in about 15 minutes that day, and rushed her to the emergency room, and thank the Lord it was in time.
Her psychiatrist tried just about everything on Norma.
I've been on medication over 20 years for it.
She was institutionalized and diagnosed as having bipolar depression, which was then treated with electroshock therapy.
Some people just get depressed. They only get low energy or hopelessness or helplessness or tearfulness. Other people get that low state and then also have a time in which they get lots of energy and almost get a little bit too high. They get too excited, too energetic. She tends to have problems not only with depression, but at some points in her life, the high spells as well. Hello.
Hey, Dr. George.
As a last resort, Norma went to Dr. Mark George. George is a professor of psychiatry, neurology, and radiology at the Medical University of South Carolina in Charleston. He decided to try something new.
Can you turn it down just a little bit?
It's called transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS.
We take electrical energy and pass it through a small coil of wires and create a very powerful and very brief magnetic field. The reason that it's so useful is that that powerful magnetic field passes unimpeded through tissue and skin and skull. So magnetic fields, unlike electricity is stopped by skin and skull. Magnetic fields pass unimpeded. If we put the powerful magnetic field just on top of our head and turn it on and off, it will create actually an electrical current inside our brain. You okay?
Yes, sir, that's fine.
For centuries, scientists have dreamed about the ability to non-invasively be able to stimulate parts of the brain in an awake, alert adult. And TMS, or transcranial magnetic stimulation, allows us to do that. And so it's a powerful research tool where we can actually stimulate the part of the brain without having to open up the skull surgically or put people to sleep. So it's a really neat ability to actually get in and begin to stimulate the brain and see what parts of our brain do what.
Over the last 15 years, more than 200 clinically depressed people have used TMS throughout the country, although still in the experimental stage.
It's given me a life. It's really given me a life. A day that I look forward to, a day that I can make plans for and carry them out. I know how to laugh again.
She's like many who all of a sudden get family members who say, wow, you're back, and it's so great to have you back. And so she is back in her life and doing what she wants to do.
It's almost like I was dead and now I'm alive. I know now who I could have been all the time.